Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. In front of me is, well, the same model almost as the last video when I touched on this split ring idea for making a dome. I have probably modified it a bit. Probably is not the right word, but I was looking at it and I'm thinking, I wonder whether I've just solved my own dilemma in this, not version, but this choice of hub. Now, I'm still in the stage of getting back to drawing dome items more regularly, but this one has popped up because I had this little, voice in my head saying, that video you made the other day mentioning that you actually do like this version. Well, maybe you should look at it a bit more, and I have, and hence the previous video. But this one is kind of the culmination of many videos over quite a period of time. Anyway, let me elucidate the situation. And I pose a rather grandiose claim. Have I solved some of my problems with the hub design that I've been challenging myself with? Now, if I hide this and this, we have a combination of a wood screw, and these are washers, and a bolt, not a nut, not a threaded rod, but a bolt. Well, if that's going to work, how is it going to work? Now, this plate, if I go into X-ray, shows the fact that this bolt goes through and captures itself, or is captured by a plate that will be threaded and slots into believe it or not, a slot where the bolt can go through and in a pre-drilled hole, and intersect a flat nut, you could say, just a piece of steel that's got a thread in it. And as such, any torque that I want to exert on this is going to be resisted by this. In this case, I've got 5mm plate, but I'm probably making it a bit thicker, probably 10mm, but it's just a big nut. And therefore, all the pressure is in the neutral axis of the strut, as it turns out. Sorry for my the whistling, but I was born with that. But the bolt goes through into the neutral axis, and it can be cranked up to whatever pressure you want, and that, I would suggest, is going to be the greater chunk, percentage, whatever, of the strength of the dome. Just unhide, because it will transfer the weight or the loads onto the ring. The ring is directly pushing up against the strut is pushing up against the ring. Therefore, there is a direct load path. So these should be able to be determined quite straightforward by an engineer. And on the top, we have a construction screw or SPAC screw, and that can be tightened or loosened as we assemble the dome. In fact, we can assemble the dome with the bottom ring first, meaning we've got good access, for getting in here and tweaking this up, because that is an issue when you use a nut and threaded rod. It's actually being able to get some sort of wrench, spanner, socket, whatever, in there when all the other nuts and threaded rods are occupying this ring. This is a little bit tighter, and more compact, I should say, and is square to the surface of the ring. Many of the other videos I've shown has the bolt or the nut and or the threaded, the screw at an angle. That introduces potential and real problems. The loading up of the thread, loading up of the head under stress, it might not go well. In a dome, who cares? Well, I do, and I want to eliminate that possibility. So having them square to the ring's surface, it means that I can pack out in fact I'll bring back the other ring. I can pack it out slightly by having a smaller diameter washer, then a larger one, and then I can have the screw come onto that. That means that the pressures on are going to be dissipated from the head of the screw or the head of the bolt through the washers. They effectively give me a de facto curved surface that matches the ring. Good idea? Bad idea? I think it's an idea. And it does eliminate a lot of the concerns I had. Also very easy to do because I can determine the height of these or position of these, the screws or the bolts. Beforehand, I can actually have them pretty much pre-assembled so that when I start my assembly, I can, as I said before, you could start with one ring, and then as we progress, we can put the second ring on top and tighten everything up. I like it. Now there is a little bit of a fiddle to get the bolt in the correct position. That is more to do with the workshop jig that you would have for that, but it's doable. Because we're dealing with a 90-degree drilling jig positioning thingy, it's nothing like it would have been had it been on an angle. So, yeah, I like this idea. Actually, I'll just hide that. So what we would have was a strut. I haven't shown the hole here yet, but the strut here with the hole going through, and then this hole being in position so that I can slide my flat nut into that area. So, yeah, quite like that approach. Whether I use it or not is a whole different kettle of fish, but if it's information that you might want to chase down, you could draw up something in your drawing program if you're inclined to do that, or just hold your breath for a wee while, because I will be making this as a dummy sort of a trial run just to see what the issues are of actually manufacturing it in the workshop. The beauty is it's independent. You could make these up relatively. Well, it's independent of. Yeah, I'm going to have to reword that. The complexity isn't there that is in other versions of this approach. This is not not original for me. It is something that's been used over many, many years. It's just that I want to investigate it for myself in my own workshop and see whether I can replicate what the other people have done in their domes using a very similar approach. So, yay. This is a little bit different. This combination with the bolt and nut may be a little bit different, but it's got a lot going for it. Okay, well that's it. It was just another one of those videos that I had to make, scratching the itch. I like the idea of it. I really do. It has a lot of appeal. Okay, that's it. I can smell my tea is about ready, so I better go have that, and I'll get back to you in another video with another riveting update on the never-ending dome saga. Radio. See you later now. Bye.